It turns out trust doesn't clear customs with your luggage. It also turns out that that same trust is not guaranteed to you every single time you step on stage, or you pitch yourself, or you speak to a new room full of people who are new to your audience. It turns out you have to earn those people's trust again and again and again. Hard lesson to learn, especially when we got all kinds of things up on our shoulders, and we've got the awards and we've got like the 20 plus years of expertise. We're like, do you know who I am? Well, girl, you're starting over from scratch. Some humble pie would be really helpful, and understanding why the audience is reacting the way that they do and why they need you to put in the work to earn their trust. By the end of this video, you are going to understand exactly why people who are new to you need you to earn their trust, okay? You're the one who needs to put in the work to earn their trust. And why your fancy degrees, your years of expertise, why those are not the thing that actually earns trust. And you're going to understand exactly what the thing that does earn trust is when you are on stage, when you're public speaking, and definitely anytime you open your mouth to communicate and to speak about your excellence and why your excellence matters. That's a moment of you earning trust. And for you to be able to do that, you need to be doing this one particular thing. By the end of this video, I'm gonna get you all the way together. You're going to understand how to do that. Are you ready? Okay, good. I like this. Let's get into it. Here's the thing. We often think that trust and credentials have the same currency, that you can interchange them. But actually, let me tell you something. One, it's kind of like a nod that lets people know, oh, she's been vetted by a couple of people before. That's what credentials do. Trust is completely different. And trust gets you further into places that you wouldn't have been able to get to, because trust works at a deep core emotional place. It's almost like it lives inside of like the core of a body, right? Whereas credentials is something that we hear that we're like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's nice, moving on. How do I know this? When I was 17 years old, okay, she was like a little puppy. She was like giving, oh my God, baby hairs. I still had like all of my baby hairs, okay? But let's not talk about that. I literally won my way to coming to the United States, not because of some credentials. I mean, what credentials does a 17-year-old have? I mean, yeah, I was like a straight A student, but really, like 17, I barely lived any life. But the thing that won me over was trust. What happened is, let me tell you, what happened was, your girl was on Good Morning South Africa. I kid you not, this is a true story, okay? I go on Good Morning South Africa. First of all, I had won a opportunity to be like an exchange student to the United States, and I was so excited. I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool. And then I looked at the numbers and I saw all of the zeros and I was like, oh please. Please, I'm about to faint. You better hold on to me. My mother held on to me and we came up with a plan. Part of that plan was we went to Good Morning South Africa and I had to use my vocal cords. Your girl pitched herself, talking about exactly what the vision was, why that vision mattered to people beyond myself, and how I needed help to move that vision forward, right? Yo, don't you know that Kaizer Chiefs was listening to this episode airing live on Good Morning South Africa? He reached out and he was like, bet, that dream, girl, bet, that's about to happen. Not only did I win a scholarship to make this outsized dream come true, and I got to come to the United States, become an immigrant for the very first time, and also make good on what I promised. I became a student, right? It happened not because of credentials, it happened because of trust, because of what it means for me to have been a little Black girl born in Soweto, his hometown, going through all of the things that our people were living through at the time, right? in Soweto, in South Africa, having come just out of apartheid. Like, he understood me at a level that no piece of paper and credential could ever communicate. He trusted me with this vision, and I took that trust. Oh, little me took that trust so seriously. I mean, to the point where sometimes I feel like, girl, like, you know, I had to do some just looseness around that, because I was holding myself up to the highest standards always, because of the trust that was put in me. And I'm here to tell you, trust and credentials, they don't move the same. If it was all about credentials, I would never have been able to get that scholarship. And I would have had a completely different life. I don't even know who that version of Mahogodi is. Fast forward more than 20 years, and here's another lesson that I learned. Credentials do not buy you trust. You can walk into a fresh country with 2 degrees from places that everybody in the world recognizes as prestigious institutions, with all of your awards packed into your lovely suitcase and all of the privilege that you've accumulated because, you know, you're now a different person and you have expertise. You can be all of those things and still have to earn trust from point zero. Matter of fact, I actually know from this lesson, you are going to have to earn the trust from point zero. Don't expect all of your credentials to be the thing that explains to this new audience, oh, here's who she is, here's why she matters, here's why she's important, here's what her vision is, here's what her excellence is, and that's why it matters to you. Nobody's going to read your resume, okay? The first concrete moment when I understood that, oh, my credentials are not going to buy me any trust here is when I was sitting with one of my new friends here. We're talking about work, we're talking about our children, and when she started talking about work, I was like, oh damn, well, this is exactly the kind of work that I do, right? She had just come back from Silicon Valley, where she had been giving a talk to a room full of potential investors. And I realized, I'm like, oh, this woman 120% is the kind of person who is my client. We should be working together. And then I realized, like, literally in that moment, as we're sipping the delicious Mexican coffee, I'm like, oh, she don't know who I am. This is a new audience. Like, I have to earn her trust all over from like zero. And it's not enough to just be somebody that we know socially and say, oh yeah, by the way, spring it up on her. Here's what else I'm doing. I have to actually earn that trust the old school way. Show me, honey, show me. Like, before, to prove what you're talking about, you have to show me before you start like asking me for anything. So that was a real big takeaway for me. Trust is not on your resume. It is not stapled to every single one of your degrees. And every single time you start over, no matter how credentialed you are, no matter how fancy the schools you went to, you know that person who at every opportunity in conversation wants to drop that they went to Harvard. That does nothing for people. Matter of fact, it actually turns people off and away. What people want to know is, can I trust you? And you have to earn that trust from the ground floor every single time you are in front of a new audience. This is part of what it means to make your excellence speak. Like, this is part of what speaking to your excellence is about. Can people trust that excellence? Can they trust that the excellent work that you have been doing and the vision that you have been working for is something that's actually going to be good for them? We are in the age of AI. How many times do you hear leaders from these billion-dollar organizations telling us like, oh, just trust me, oh, just trust me, oh, this is so amazing and it's going to do X, Y for you. And that does nothing to take away the fear that people have. Number one, those people, they're a new audience. Number two, those people, they have a legitimate skepticism. And most people, when they meet you for the very first time, they have a legitimate skepticism because, like, stranger danger, right? It is not surprising that so many people haven't necessarily been moved by the talking points that these leaders use, because their talking points are, we're so smart, we figured out everything, trust me, we have the credentials, we spent all of our time on Silicon Valley, and yeah, I have a PhD, so like, listen to me. People are like, excuse me, why should I trust you? If you're one of these leaders, you may want to reach out to me, because I would love to help you solve this question of like, how do you actually use your voice and your messaging and even an interview with Oprah Winfrey to actually win the trust of the public? How do you speak to your excellence in a way that wins trust and not just tells people, oh, okay, they're very smart, they went to good schools, and they're also very much in the in. And even just acknowledging that would go a very long way in earning trust. I want you to stop leading with your resume every time you walk into a new room. Matter of fact, just pretend you never went to any place. Pretend nobody knows you, because they really don't, and you're in front of this new audience. And here's what instead I want you to do to begin earning trust. Take stock of where it is that this audience that is new is. Is it a new city that you've just moved to, like me? Are you in a new country, a new zip code? Have you changed jobs? Sometimes you're even in the same organization, but you're in a new team. Those people don't know you that well. Best yet, maybe you have new clients. Those clients have zero idea how amazing you were and all that you earned to the last clients before. If you're an entrepreneur and you are in front of new investors, or it's a new economy, you need to prove all over again. I was just talking to a friend of mine who's an entrepreneur, and he was breaking down, okay, the 2026 reality is not the 2025 reality. And part of what his job is, he needs to earn the trust even of old investors who've been riding with him into 2026. Here's an exercise that can help you accumulate more trust, both with the people you already have and especially with your new audience. Here's what I want you to do. Number one, finish the sentence. Here is the audience where I am brand new. They know nothing about me. Fill in that audience, okay? And then number two, take stock of what kind of deposits, no matter how small they might feel, you already have been depositing in with that audience. For me, one of the things that's critical right now is being on the playground. My son is my trust bank, literally. Once you've taken stock of who's new, how much deposits do you have with them, even if it's just a little bit of deposit, take in this next thing. What is the one specific, most real, most human, and radically generous offer that you can give to that new audience that feels like you, and that also just feels like a genuine gift that you would be really excited to give? Think about that. Think about the new audience. Maybe it's a match to something that you realize, like, oh, people here kind of need XYZ. Show up in radical generosity and watch what happens. That's it. That's your homework. That's all you have to do to begin earning trust. We do want to speak to our excellence, but we also want how we move to be excellent. It's not just about the expertise of our work. It's also how we show up, the spirit of how we work, right? And that being like, she can't even speak, no habla español, pero, oh. Mami chula is chuloing, okay? All right, I am Mahodi. That's about as much butchered Spanglish as you're gonna get from me. This is Madam Speaker Says. Thank you so much for joining me. If this was useful, please hit subscribe, and also let me know in comments, when was the last time that you had to completely earn a new audience's trust? And you can just, let me know, like, oh, new city, or you can let me know, new school, there's a favorite, or you can let me know, new playground, and I'll know what that code is, because mom over here, definitely in the trenches with you if you're also a mom or a caretaker of any kind. Thank you again for being here. I look forward to seeing you next time on Madam Speaker Says. And if you stuck around till the end, first of all, thank you so much. And second of all, do you see the outfit change? Let's acknowledge it. Okay, let's not be weird. this is day 2 of filming, and this is what it looks like when you're earning trust. Like, I had to put this on so that you could continue the trust of you seeing me in the same outfit. But girl, don't ask me about all of the, like, it wasn't all the same, but it's gonna be same enough. Okay, thank you, take care.